The stars were silent the day humanity died, cold, distant, uncaring. In the dark sea of space, a small escape pod floated among broken metal and ashes. Inside it was a child barely 6 years old. His name was Dason. His eyes were shut, his breath slow. He didn't cry. He couldn't. His tears had already dried. He didn't know how the war started. He only remembered fire, screaming, the heavy shaking of the ship, then silence. His parents had pushed him into the pod. "Wait for us," they said. Never came. Now he floated in the black, far from home, alone. The last child of Earth. He was supposed to die, but the stars had. Other plans. A shadow moved across the pod. Not a ship, not a creature from war. Something larger than anything Dason had ever seen. A shape in the dark, made of shining scales and flowing light. Its body was longer than mountains. Its wings stretched across space like sails made from galaxies. It was a dragon, a star dragon. More of them came. Dozens. Some silver, some deep blue, some black like the void itself. They circled the boy's pod, watching, waiting. One moved closer. Her name was Nari. Her voice didn't come through speakers or sound waves. It entered Dason's thoughts, soft like a memory. A human. So small. So fragile. Another dragon spoke this. One larger, darker, older. His name was Ura. He was given to us... as a sacrifice. The dragons had seen this before. Aliens from the outer rim, afraid of what humans could become, had fed humans to the stars. Most died. None were accepted. Dason, he still breathed, even after days in space. "Why does he live?" Nari asked. "Because he refused to die," Ura answered. The dragons didn't understand it. How could a weak flesh-born creature survive the void? They could have left him. But something in the stars whispered, "Keep him." Ura, oldest of the starborn, opened his wings and pulled the pod into his warmth. The cold melted. Dason's chest rose, slowly, weakly, but he lived. When he woke up, he was no longer inside the pod. He lay on soft glowing stone. Around him floated islands of crystal, stars swirling above like rivers of light. He sat up slowly, blinking. It was beautiful, quiet, warm. A shadow passed over him. He looked up and gasped. The dragon before him was massive. Its eyes were gold and deep like twin suns. Its breath made the air hum. It lowered its head and spoke, not with sound, but with thought. "You are awake, Dason." He backed away, unsure, scared. But the dragon didn't attack. It only watched. "You are the last of your kind," the voice said. "But you are not forgotten." Dason couldn't speak. His voice was too dry. But inside, his heart raced. He was supposed to die, but now he was here, surrounded by star dragons. Safe for now, Ura and Nari took him to the center of their world, a place they called Nebula's Heart. There, dragons gathered. Some looked curious, others angry. "Why should we keep him?" "He is nothing." Another growled. Ura raised his voice. "He is something more. He survived what no other could." Dason stood still. He felt their stares. Felt small, weak. But he didn't run. He didn't cry. Not this time. Ura turned to him. "There is an old story, child, a prophecy. It speaks of one born of fire and void, who will lead us when the stars begin to fall." "You think it's me?" Dason asked, barely above a whisper. "I don't know," Ura said, "but the flame in you did not go out, and the stars do not lie." For the first time since the end of Earth, Dason felt something deep inside him, not fear, hope. The boy who once floated in the cold, forgotten by the stars, now walked beside them. Years had passed since Dason arrived in the nebula's heart. He was no longer small, no longer afraid. His hair had turned silver like starlight, and his eyes now held the quiet fire of the cosmos. His hands could call flame from the void. His breath could stir the wind on crystal mountains. He was still human, but not only human. The dragons watched him grow. Some still doubted, Others called him Starborn. Nari, the youngest dragon, stayed by his side always. She taught him how to fly without wings, how to listen to the stars, and how to answer when they whispered. "Why, you are the elder dragon," said Little Butt. He watched with deep, burning eyes. Then one day the stars screamed. A breach opened in the sky. Ships poured in metal, sharp and full of weapons. It was the alien alliance that had once fed Dason to the dragons. They had found Nebula's heart. On the biggest warship stood Admiral Valin, tall and proud, his skin like metal, his voice cold. "We come to claim the dragons," he said. "They will serve a sore burn." The dragons roared. The sky shook. Dason stepped forward, his voice calm, his eyes steady. "You gave me to the stars to die, but I lived." "You cannot take what you once threw away," Velen laughed. "You are a mistake, boy, a myth. Step aside." Dason raised his hand. Flame bloomed across his fingers, black, gold, and endless. "I am not a myth," he said. "I am what comes after." The dragons stood behind him, wings open wide, stars dancing in their eyes. Even Yura, who hadn't flown in years, rose into the sky. Nari's body glowed with nebula dust. They did not speak. They waited. Velen gave the command. The ships attacked. Light flashed. Fire exploded. The battle of the celestial rift had begun. Dragons dove through space, breathing fire that burned through shields. The alien ships fired plasma and ice bombs. Some dragons fell. Some ships shattered. Space tore open, screaming in colors no eyes had seen before. Dason flew through the center of it all. He did not hide. Faced Velen's warship head-on. Velen met him with hate in his eyes. "You should have died in the dark," he growled. "I did," Dason said, fire rising from his hands. "And something greater woke up in my place." They fought soul against machine, memory against metal. Velen's power was strong. But Dason carried the sorrow of 1,000 lost voices, the silence of Earth, the fire of all who were gone. In the end, Dason reached into the flame inside him, not to destroy, but to show. He opened Velen's mind. Velen saw Earth's fall. He saw the mothers who cried, the fathers who fought, the children who waited. He saw Dason's pod floating alone with no one left to call his name. Velen dropped his weapon and fell to his knees. The war ended. The ships left. Silence returned. Yura, old and fading, gathered the dragons. "The child has become more," he said. "He carries not only the fire of stars, but the memory of a world we let burn." He turned to Dason. "You are no longer guest or orphan. You are emperor." The dragons bowed. Nur touched her nose. To his shoulder, "The stars chose well," she said. Dason looked to the sky. It no longer felt empty. He was once a child thrown to the dragons to die. Now, he stood at the edge of the galaxy, the last son of Earth, the fire that survived. The emperor of the starborn, and every star knew his name.